Okay, so the final question number 9. Ruth wants to make compost for the vegetable patch and the garden centre advises her. She needs 3 parts of brown carbon waste for every 1 part of green nitrogen waste. So they've given her a chart listing which is brown carbon and which is green nitrogen, and apparently she has these buckets of waste. Now she needs to work out which buckets of waste she should use to make compost. Now she wants to use 3 parts of brown carbon waste for every 1 part of green nitrogen waste. So this is a ratio question. But she wants to use all of her green nitrogen waste. So the ratio is 3 to 1. But she wants to use all her green nitrogen waste. So we need to differentiate between brown and green. Now, green nitrogen waste is grass clippings, vegetable scraps, weeds, and so on. Now, grass clippings, that's green. Vegetable scraps, again, this is green. And weeds are also green. So the sawdust and newspaper, we can see here, sawdust and newspaper comes under brown waste. So she needs to use all of this. So she's going to use 2 buckets of grass clippings, 1 bucket of vegetable scraps, and 1 bucket of weeds. Okay, so we can say that she has 2 buckets of, now sorry, I'm going to have to sort of keep diving backwards and forwards. So this would be grass, oops, change that, clippings. She has 1 bucket of vegetable waste. Okay, and I believe that she had 1 bucket of, and we'll find out what bucket she's got, weeds. Okay, so she has 4 buckets, and this will be, this is nitrogen waste. Okay, I know this doesn't look like waste, in fact I'll take that out. There you go, so you can read it now. So we have 4 buckets of nitrogen waste. Okay, now we know that the ratio, okay, is 3 to 1. So this would be 3 buckets of, told you I would dive backwards and forwards, brown carbon. So this would be 3 buckets of brown carbon to 1 bucket nitrogen. So if she has 1 bucket of nitrogen, she would need to add 3 buckets of brown carbon. So if she had 2 buckets of nitrogen, she would need 6 buckets. So if she has 3 buckets of nitrogen, then she has 9 buckets. So if she has 4 buckets of nitrogen, she has 12. Okay, so we're just multiplying up. Okay, so we can say that she needs 12 buckets of brown carbon. Now she doesn't need to use all of the brown carbon. So all we've got to do now is, it says, work out which buckets of waste you could use to make the compost. So we've identified the nitrogen buckets. So she could use all 3 buckets of newspaper and then 9 buckets of the sawdust, or she could use 11 buckets of the sawdust and 1 bucket of the newspaper. Remember, she needs to get 12 buckets and we have 14 buckets here. So just for ease, I would say, okay, 11 buckets of sawdust and then 1 bucket of the newspaper. So I can say needs to use 11 buckets of sawdust plus 1 bucket of newspaper. Okay, so we know that she's got to use all of this. So this will be 4 buckets. The ratio is 3 to 1, so she's going to need 3 times as many buckets of the brown. So this would be 3 times 4, which is 12. So for 12 buckets of brown carbon, we could use 11 buckets of sawdust and 1 bucket of newspaper. Equally, we could have used 3 buckets of newspaper and 9 buckets of sawdust. So there are 2 possible answers there. Okay, what's important is that they want to know what the ratio is, which is 3 to 1. Okay, so that's the final question. I hope this has helped. If you've got any problems, please let us know and we can put another video up, or I can explain it maybe in another way. So good luck, and I really hope that these videos help you.